Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast. I am in the booth with everybody. However, this is the short version of what we do with the podcast. This is the mind and body section. And I'm sorry. Why do I keep fucking this up? I keep fucking it up, Michael. Mind and money. So I am giving you the portion that's coming from the mind today, and Michael will hit us the following week when it comes to some money. So today we're going to talk about how to implement real change in your life. Michael asked me off air before, well, what's real change, right? And real change is being able to change something, not only for a short period of time, but being able to sustain that change, okay? Now, the mission, again, with this short form content is to provide value to you guys much quicker than giving you an hour and 30 minutes, all right? So we're going to rock, and I want to just be clear that this is information that not only I've learned, but now I'm choosing to obviously put my spin on it, but take a lot of what it is that I've been able to apply in my own life. So why is change so hard, you ask? Well, I ask you, why is change hard? I think there's two types of change in the world. One that is change that is imposed on us. We all went through a global pandemic over 2 years of this. We had no option. We had no control. Right? That's change that's imposed on you. But what we're going to talk about today, and the gold, is change that's initiated by you. And Michael is in the corner over here, and I'm looking at him, I'm pointing at him. To be fully transparent with you guys, CV, he tells me all the time that I need to be looking into the camera more because it's more personal, which I understand. However, I'm working on it. So you'll see me all over the place. But again, the goal of today is change that's initiated by you. I've been fascinated with change just in my own life. There's two specific books. Alan Stein Jr. He works with a lot of NBA players specifically. He's a mentor, mindset coach, the whole thing. The first book that I read is called Raise Your Game. I read that back in 2019. Then he actually just came out with the next version of Raise Your Game, talking about sustaining your game. So some of the information that you'll hear today is referenced through Alan Stein's work. I just want to be fully transparent with that. Now, there's three things in your life that you need to basically have to make sure that you're ready to change. And the first thing is awareness, right? Something in your life, you have to be accepting that what you're doing right now is currently not working. So step one is having an awareness. The next thing is understanding, right? What am I risking by not changing this behavior? That's a serious question that you have to ask yourself. Am I okay with getting the same result for the rest of my life? So you got awareness, understanding. And then you have what's called repetition and reconditioning, right? Now we become conditioned to our old habits. We're conditioned. We do them time and time again. For me, I remember being a child, and you're basically taught to eat cereal, right? You eat cereal every single day. I tended to love Captain Crunch, Waffle Crisp, Frosted Flakes. I woke up and I was conditioned. Michael likes that talk. I was conditioned in my habit of eating cereal. So then you have to make a conscious decision as you get older to recondition your mind through some research, whatever it is, to say, you know what, that's probably not the best option for me. So what do? You research, you find out, okay, well, probably, scrambled eggs is a better option than cereal, right? Then you start to repeat that habit over and over again, and now you're able to sustain change. So that's when I say recondition, you're physically taking an old conditioned habit and changing it over. All right? But now what I want to do for you is map out an actual plan to implement this change, right? We all want extreme change overnight. Yes, there might be massive change that we want to make, losing 50 pounds, 60 pounds, like our audiovisual engineer just did, right? But in the grand scheme of things of that big goal, there's probably 5 or 10 micro goals and micro habits that needed to be, adjusted. If you're looking for a promotion at work, the promotion is the big goal, but there's 5 or 10 things that you can be doing, but we don't focus on those micro things. We look at the macro, right? This guy, John Berardi, wellness doctor in the health and wellness space, he researched thousands. We've said before on this podcast that as humans, we are chemically wired to be single task oriented. Only 3% of the world, think about that. 3% of the world are chemically wired in their brains to be able to multitask at the highest level possible. That might be Michael. That's not me for sure. So they did this research, right? And the first one was they took a couple thousand people and they had them focus on one task at hand to make change, right? So when you're reaching a goal, they said, listen, I want you to focus on one task at a time. 85%, it's an extreme number. 85% were very successful when they focused on one component, right? Say you want to be closer to your partner, right? This is a relationship example. You want to be closer to your partner. There's probably 5 things that need to change. Your intimacy level needs to change. You're not going on dates. You're feeling distant. The one thing that you might be able to change in that moment is say, listen, before bed, let's both commit to putting our phone down. And instead of spending the last 30 minutes on your phone, you spend it together with your significant other. So 85% of those people who focused on one task were successful in changing that habit. The percentage of people on the next couple thousand that were researched dropped all the way down to 40% of a success rate when they gave those individuals 2 tasks to focus on. Right? So going from 1, you're at 85%. The moment that they took this next batch of individuals and gave them 2 things to change in their life, they were only 40% successful. That's an astronomical drop. Now, if you're like most people, you want to change 3 or more things in your life, right? 5%. So you go from 85 to 40 to now 5% of individuals were successful when they were given a task of 3 or more to focus on. The numbers don't lie, right? For me, I think about the beard oil company. I remember wanting to do so many things in terms of building a business that I got overwhelmed, and I was one of those 95% of the people that end up flopping. I think entrepreneurs in the space, we always want, the instant gratification overnight. We predominantly fail because we're unable to identify one thing that we want to make change on. We're so focused on, well, how do we market ourselves better? How do we make more money? How do I expose myself? How do I create a networking opportunity for myself? How do I get a 6-pack, Michael's saying out loud? There's so many things that, yes, we all want to change, but if you look at that percentage, those numbers don't lie, all right? Here's the formula. So the first step is razor sharp focus. Focus on that one goal and that one piece that you know that needs to be changed. I can't tell you what it is in your life that needs to be changed, but I'll give you an example kind of at the end, and it could be fitness related because fitness is very easy to understand. The second piece is to commit for 60 days. 2 months, that one habit needs to be repeated every single day. There's research that says 21 days builds a habit. There's research that says 9 months builds a habit. I believe that 2 months is a sustainable amount of time that you will find some adversity throughout those 2 months. The weather's not going to be great. There's going to be times that you don't want to do shit. You got to make sure that you get up and get that task done for 60 straight days. Now, if you miss a day, if you miss that day for that one task, you have to start those 60 days over. Right? So that's a big nuance. You don't just get to move to the next day. You have to prove to yourself that for 60 straight days, you can accomplish the task. I'm a very old school dude. I like visuals. So in my office, I keep a big calendar. At home, I keep a calendar. And there's things that I have to mark off. We spoke about that on the podcast before. But when you have a calendar and you can physically mark off an X, you can see the progress. And it's an exciting thing when you're able to either check or mark something off. And then the third thing is accountability. And this is something that we do not do. But if we do this, this is extremely helpful. We and the No Snooze podcast here, we tend to hold each other accountable. So we have experience doing this. But as human beings, this is something we don't like doing because Michael mentioned on a previous episode that you don't like letting people down. As human beings, one of the worst feelings is having somebody to be accountable to and not showing up for them. So what we want you to do, right? And Alan Stein talks about this too. He says between 3 to 4 people you should choose in your life. And you should say, listen, I want you to hold me accountable. For these 60 days, I want you to text me every single day at some point to ask if I was able to accomplish that goal, right? So let's walk you through the entire thing. You want to lose 50 pounds. That's a very easy one, right? Yes, you obviously have to abolish sugar. You have to start working out. You have to wake up on time. You got to, plan your meal plan, okay? So the first one is obviously you have to get razor sharp focus. What I would say to you is commit to a walk, because if you have 50 pounds to lose, you're probably a bigger individual. Those first couple pounds are going to come off quickly. Commit to walking outside for 30 minutes. That's my razor sharp focus, right? Now I'm going to do that every single day for 60 days, for 2 months. And also what I'm going to do is send a message to 3 or 4 people in my close circle to say, listen, I want you to hold me accountable to this one goal. I want you to check in with me at lunch. Hey, did you walk today? Check in with me at dinner time. Hey, did you walk today? Because you're going to have to answer back to those people. Now, there's literally no difference, because on January 1st, we all make these great commitments to ourselves, right? But within that big goal, there was 5 things that we've already committed to. What this process is doing is basically allowing you to reach that ultimate goal, but it might be a year time to where you're implementing real change to be able to sustain that long term, right? So it's knocking out one task, one day at a time for 60 straight days, and then stacking that on top of now the next thing. So you just accomplished your walk for 60 days. Now it's like, okay, now I'm going to commit to the sugar, right? I'm only going to have 20 grams of sugar for the day, whatever it is, whatever that goal is. But now by month 4, now you've accomplished those 2, right? And then so on and so forth. It's a huge difference between the quick gratification. Yes, it's a slower process, but that's what life is all about. Real change is committing to an actual process for yourself. So I bring you to, I guess, my favorite section, even though this whole thing is my freaking favorite section. I got to be honest. I'm sitting here rambling, talking to my damn self, not looking into the camera like CV wants me to, but I'm trying. All right. So this will bring us to my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week. Dime. Yes. So this one is a big misconception in life, and it goes like this. They always say that time changes things. But the truth is, you have to change things yourself. Let that sink in. Right? So we always, as individuals, we think, oh yeah, I'll change when the time is right. Or I got 2 kids now, so it's going to be easier down the line. Right? Which is, there's not a wrong way to think. But if you want to implement real change, you have to commit to the process and do it yourself. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this little 15-minute hitter. I really don't know how long I rambled for, but hopefully it's close. If you found some value in it, we ask that you share these episodes. Getting the No Snooze podcast is out to the masses is really what we're looking to do. And if you just share it with one of your friends, we'll be extremely grateful. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. I know the sun is still shining, as you can see my beautiful tan as I look into the camera, CV. All right. So thank you guys very much. We will talk to you next time. And until next time, stop snoozing, get up, and get after it. And change your life.
That's another Epi in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Come on.